Hi, second graders. Hi, second graders. This is Miss Kish. This is your science lesson, and science is going to be a little bit different today because we are doing an experiment in science. Last week, I asked you to look at some pictures of different kinds of land and think about what you think might have formed that land, made it have that certain shape, or what might change that land. And we made a list. Today, we're going to talk about two of them and try them out, okay? So to get ready for this experiment, you need your notebook, okay? And then you need something to write with, all right? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna split our paper into quarters, 4 equal parts. Okay, so one vertical line down the middle, one horizontal line across, okay? And what we're gonna write at the top is the word predict. I will show it to you in just a second. And then in the bottom, okay, down here, we're gonna write the word actual, okay? So predict means what you think will happen. Predict means what you think will happen. Actual means what really happens, okay? So before we do the experiment, we're gonna draw and write what we think will happen, and then we'll do it and we'll write what actually happened, okay? Okay, if you need more time, remember you can always pause the video. So second graders, we are going to start by drawing a picture. So I have this page already, but I'm gonna go back to the page before it, or maybe you might turn the page and go on the next page, and I want you to draw a picture of what you see, okay? Let me get this right for you. You can see the sandhill, and I actually made a mountain out of the sand. Can you see it? So not on the side of your paper that has the 4 boxes, but on the back or the page before, I want you to draw a picture of what you see, okay? You can use your pencil. You can just do a sketch. Remember, a sketch is a kind of quick drawing with just one color, one pencil. I can tell this is a mountain. It has steep sides. It's got a peak at the top, right? And a real mountain would be made of rocks and boulders. Our mountain is made of sand. So they're not exactly the same, right? Plus this is a model. This is a smaller version. Okay, so you did that. I'm gonna kind of move to the side. I'm gonna lift this back up for a second. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going back to this side that says predict and actual. And we're gonna try 2 different things on our mountain, okay? The first thing we're gonna try is we're going to put some wind on our mountain. We're gonna blow wind on our mountain. So I want you to think about what will happen when we blow wind on our mountain, okay? And you're gonna draw a picture in your first box right here. I'm gonna put a little W in this box for wind. And I'm drawing, oh my goodness, there we go. I'm drawing what I think will happen when the wind blows on the mountain. Go ahead and draw a picture in that first box. What do you think will happen? Okay. So here's the mountain again if you need to see it. And then you draw what you think will happen when we blow wind on the mountain. If you need more time, you can hit the pause button, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is in our next box over here, we're gonna draw what happens when there is water on our mountain. So we're gonna put a W-A for water since both of our words start with W, right? W-I, W-A. So we'll put W-A. And imagine what would happen if we poured water on our mountain. So think about rain or snow. Think about a stream that's flowing down the mountain. What do you think is going to happen to the mountain? If you don't think anything's going to happen, you're just going to draw the mountain again right here, right? Well, otherwise, you're going to draw what you think will happen when we pour water on the mountain. Remember, predict means make a guess. So if you don't know, that's okay. You just make your best guess. If you need more time to do your drawings at the top where you're making a prediction, you can hit pause until you're ready, but I'm gonna get ready to start, okay? So second graders, the first thing we're gonna do is show what happens if we have wind on our mountain. And what we're gonna do is underneath the drawing you did here, this was our wind drawing, our wind prediction, you're gonna draw what really happens. Oh my goodness, there we go. When we put wind, actual means what really happens. So under your prediction, you're gonna draw what really happens, okay? Guess who's gonna be the wind today? It's gonna be me. All right, you ready for some wind? Oh, did you see what happened? It's hard to tell. Did you see anything change? Not a lot changed, but a few little things changed. The very peak of our mountain tumbled down the side of the mountain, right? And then there were some other little pieces right here that tumbled down the side of the mountain. The mountain does not look a lot different, but it does look a little different. So you're gonna go ahead and draw that under actual, okay? It's not a big difference, it's a small difference. Now think about that happening in real life. Wind blows on a mountain, and every time the wind blows, the mountain might not change. But sometimes when the wind blows, a little piece might break off, or a big piece might break off, or a little piece, or a little piece, or a little piece, and then that might make a bigger piece fall off, right? The mountain is not changing quickly. The whole mountain is not falling down because wind blew, but little changes are happening to the mountain, right? And if it's a bigger wind, the change might be a little bigger. If it's a little wind, you might not notice anything, but over time, changes are happening to the mountain, okay? All right, if you need some more time to draw, you can do that. I'm gonna get ready to show us what happens when we put water on the mountain. So I have a cup of water right here, and I also have a cup that has holes in the bottom. This will be like our cloud, okay? So here's our cloud. We'll make it kind of rain on the mountain. Ready? When I'm doing this, you're gonna draw what you think or what you see happening, right? So we're on the actual side. Here's where you drew the wind when I blew on it. Here's where you're gonna draw what happens when we put water on it, okay? Here we go. Oh my goodness. Did our mountain change? It sure did. Look at that. Go ahead and draw. Now, in real life, is the mountain going to completely fall down because it rained? No, that's not going to happen, right? Our model is made of sand, and sand acts differently from a mountain. But this is showing kind of like a fast version of what could happen. When it rains on a mountain, sometimes nothing might change, but sometimes little things might change. A little rock might fall down, it might get pushed by the water. Or water might get into a crack, and it might make the crack bigger. Or it might rain a lot, and more pieces of the rock, smaller pieces, might break off, right? A mountain is probably not going to fall down because it rained. It's not going to do that. But little changes will happen over time, over time, over time. This kind of might show what happens over, oh my goodness, thousands of years to a mountain when little pieces break off and little pieces break off and little pieces break off and sometimes big pieces break off and sometimes nothing breaks off and then little pieces break off, right? Land changes, and wind and water can both change the land. They might not do it quickly. Okay, they might do it slowly, but over time, the land is changing by wind and by water. Let me move this out of the way. Very carefully. Here we go. Okay, so second graders, today we learned 2 ways that land can change. Wind can change land, and water can change land. And they don't always do it quickly. Definitely not as quickly as you saw with the sand, right? Because mountains are made of big, big rocks, right? Instead of little pieces that can come apart more easily. But it did show you what can happen over time when the wind keeps blowing and the water keeps washing down. Okay, so second graders, you're gonna go to Seesaw today to turn in your drawings. Remember, your top two drawings were predictions. I don't want you to change them if they were wrong. Keep them, okay? Scientists do not always know the right answer. That's why they do the experiment, to see what happened. So keep these the same. And then at the bottom, you're gonna draw what really happened, okay? When you go into Seesaw, you're going to take a picture of this to turn it in. And I also have some other photographs in Seesaw that show how wind and how water can change the land. And some of the pictures are pretty cool to look at, okay? Good job, friends.